Hey guys, welcome back to another reaction video. This is for episode 3 of season 3 of Steven Universe called uh Same Old World. Um I gotta say, as I say like any other Steven Universe episode, it was amazing. We got a ton of information, especially about Lapis and how she got trapped into the mirror, what her role during the war was and stuff like that. So it just starts out as Steven paired out telling all the rest of the crystal gems about what happened when they went down to drill into the cluster and that stuff. Um, Steven was clearly worried about Lapis and how she was doing, so he stayed close to her, sleeping outside the barn. He wakes up in the middle of the night to find that Lapis was on her way off Earth, that she was leaving, and that she couldn't stay on Earth because of the crystal gems. And so she flies away. Fast forward to the next day, and everybody's packing up to leave the barn, except for Peridot, which she's staying at the barn, to rebuild what she did with her giant robot and sort of like redecorate and stuff like that. And Steven stays behind for some reason and says that he'll catch up on Lion, but he is not able to find Lion and instead finds Lapis on top of the silo. So he goes up and starts talking to Lapis, and Lapis actually tells him that she can't go back to Homeworld either because they don't know what they might do to her, and she can't stay there because of crystal gems. So Steven tells her that she doesn't have to stay there. She can go anywhere on Earth. And so they do like this Aladdin reference to the I can show you the world type thing, where they go around the cities and stuff like that, flying around. And Steven describes all these different cities, Empire City, which you heard one other time in a flashback with young Greg. Empire City, and we also got we also found out that Jersey actually exists in Steven Universe, which I think was pretty funny. And that little joke that they made about it, them also hating the Earth too with all the smog and stuff. I just thought it was pretty funny. And I kind of noticed something in this episode too, that Lapis was kind of, I guess, being flirty in a way towards Steven, but that's just my opinion. And how she said that when they were flying up in the sky and looking up at the stars, Steven says that it's really beautiful, and then Lapis was she's like, it's alright. I can see why you like it here, but the way that she said it made me think that she was kind of being flirty. But that's probably not, not even real or non-canon or something like that. But that's just my opinion. I don't know about you guys. Anywho, Steven and Lapis are still flying around. They fly above the ocean and they actually see the galaxy warp. And Lapis starts letting go of Steven, subconsciously, and he almost falls into the ocean before Lapis regains her grip and grabs him. And this is where we get some of the backstory on how Lapis was trapped in the mirror. So she was not part of the war. She was just visiting the Earth for some time. But she got caught up in the war, and the Homeworld gems confused her for a crystal gem, and they poofed her and trapped her inside the mirror. Uh, and they interrogated her, like the crystal gems did, by asking her like all these questions, like who is your leader, like what has she seen and stuff like that. But obviously, she couldn't say anything. She couldn't say that she wasn't a crystal gem because she was trapped. And when all of the homeworld gems fled the Earth, she was left behind. And in the flashback, one of the gems actually stepped on her, and that's how her gem got cracked. Which I think is, kind of a weird way to have your gem cracked. But then again, Amethyst cracked her gem by landing on a rock. Yeah. But anywho, they go back to the barn, and Lapis decides that she wants to stay there. She wants to stay at the barn, not knowing that Peridot is also there too, which I think it's pretty fucking hilarious. But Peridot comes out and she's like, Lapis, it's so good to see you. Walking around and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, this is my home away from homeworld. And then they start arguing, and Lapis says that, like, no, it's not, it's mine. Like, right, Steven? And it just, episode ends off with Steven, doing Steven things and being confused. Which gives us a nice transition into the next episode, which is Barnmates. Sorry about the background noise. I have my window open. We got some other information too, which I've noticed that the gem that poofed Lapis had a oddly shaped gem on its chest, which really reminded me of the thing that was bubbled up in Lion's Mane, which was bismuth. And another thing that supports this sort of mini theory is the fact that it has multicolored hair, which bismuth is also multicolored. They look very masculine and stuff like that, so it might be a whole different type of thing from gems itself, because bismuth is not really a gem, it's sort of like a metal or some other type of material. I'm not really sure, but it just gives us more questions to think about, and exactly what is bismuth, what exactly is it doing inside Lion's Mane, or what was its purpose. But anyways, that's all I have to say for this episode. I really wanted to keep it short, but I guess I'm kind of rambling on about all these things. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.